Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. Welcome to UMT Massive Open Online Course. I am Aniza from Chemistry Department, School of Fundamental Science, University Malaysia, Terengganu. In this video, we will learn about the chemistry of fire, which one of important subtopic under Chemicals and Safety Management course. The word fire is originated from Middle English, which is known as fire. According to ancient Greek mythology, fire was stolen from the gods and given to mankind by Prometheus. And Darwin was claimed that fire as the greatest discovery made by humanity, accepting only language. The impact of fire on human evolutions are in protection and hunting, tool and weapon making, art and ceremonial uses, developments and expansion in early hominid societies, environments and nighttime activities, changes to diet, and biological changes. Despite of huge impacts of fire to the human, however, fire also can cause major problems. The Malaysia Fire and Rescue Department, JBPM, has recorded Ringgit Malaysia 5.2 billion in losses due to the fire nationwide in 2017. In Malaysia, children die every 2 weeks from fire injuries, and only 1 in 3 parents consistently teach their children about fire safety at home. Therefore, it is very important for us to have an awareness on the importance of fire safety, as the world's biggest fire could be extinguished with a small fire extinguishing at the right time. At the end of this video, students should be able to first, explain the tetrahedron of fire. Second, differentiate between flammables and combustible liquid based on flash points. Third, describe the phases in fire development. Fourth, state the classes of fire according to ASIA standard and describe the methods of fire extinguishing and extinguisher distances. Fifth, describe and explain the steps taken when someone are engulfed in flames. And the last one is fire prevention measures. The topic learning outlines for this subtopic are divided into 6 major divisions, which are: first, the tetrahedron of fire; second, flash points; third, behavior of fire; fourth, classifications of fire; fifth, incidents of fire; sixth, preventions of fire. In this first subtopic, we will learn more in details about tetrahedron of fire. A fire must have 4 components to ignite and maintain combustions, which are: first, heat; second, oxygen; third, fuel; and fourth, chain reaction. These 4 elements graphically creates a pyramid structure that also known as the fire tetrahedron. Fire cannot exist without all of these elements in place and in the right proportions. For example, a flammable liquid will start burning only if the fuel and oxygen are in the right proportions. Some fuel-oxygen mixtures may require a catalyst that is not directly involved in any chemical reaction during combustion, but which enables the reactants to combust more readily. Once ignited, a chain reaction must take place whereby fires can sustain their own heat by further release. Now we will move to another subtopic, which is about flash point. Flash points refers to the lowest temperature at which a liquid will form a vapor in the air near its surface that will flash or briefly ignite on exposure to an open flame. In general, the lower the flash point, the greater the fire hazards. Flash points are measured by heating a liquid to specific temperature under controlled conditions and applying a flame. The test is done in either an open cup or closed cup apparatus or in both in order to mimic the conditions of storage and the workplace. There are two major classes of liquids differentiated by the flash points. The first one is combustible liquids that have flash points at or above 37.8 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit and below 93.3 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Fahrenheit and can pose serious fire and explosion hazards when heated. And the second one is flammable liquids that have flash points below 37.8 degrees Celsius, which is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and may be ignited at room temperature. Flammable liquids are more dangerous than combustible liquids. So, we have learned about the tetrahedron of fire and flash points. Now we are moving to the fire behavior. Fire behavior can be divided by 6 stages. In the early stage, it is called as incipient phase. At this stage, heating of potential fuel is taking place through a variety of combustion processes such as smoldering, flaming, or radiant. The second stage is growth phase, where ignition is the beginning of fire development. At the initial growth phase, the fire will be normally small and localized in a compartment. An accumulation of smoke and combustion products in a layer beneath the ceiling will gradually form a hotter upper layer in the compartment, with a relatively cooler and cleaner layer at the bottom. With sufficient supplies of fuel and oxygen and without the interruption of firefighting, the fire will grow larger and release more hot gases to the smoke layer. The smoke layer will descend as it becomes thicker. The third stage is known as flashover phase. In case of fire developing into flashover, the radiation from the burning flame and the hot smoke layer may lead to an instant ignition of unburned combustible materials in the compartment. The whole compartment will be engulfed in fire and smoke. The fourth stage is fully developed phase. After the flashover, the fire enters a fully developed stage with the rate of heat release reaching the maximum and the burning rate remaining substantially steady. The fire may be ventilation or fuel control. Normally, this is the most critical stage that structural damage and fire spread may occur. Stage is decay phase, where at this phase, after a period of sustained burning, the rate of burning decreases as the combustible materials is consumed and the fire now enters the decay phase. The last stage is extinction phase. At this stage, the fire will eventually cease when all combustible materials have been consumed and there is no more energy being released. Combustible and flammable fuels involved in fires according to ASIA standard have been broken down into 6 classes. Class A fires are fires involve ordinary combustible things, for example wood, paper, textile, coal, and plastic. Class B fires are fires involve flammable or combustible liquids, for example gasoline, diesel fuel, petroleum oil, and paint. Class C fires are fires involve flammable or combustible gases, for example, propane and butane. Class D fires are fires involve combustible metals, for instance, sodium, magnesium, potassium, and titanium. Class E fires are fires involve electrical, for example, electrical equipment, cables, transformers, and motors. Class F fires are fires involve cooking oils and greases, for example, animal fats and vegetable fats. We have known the different classes of fire and their examples. So, now let I explain in details about methods of fire extinguishing and extinguisher distances for each class of fire. Class A fires are extinguished by cooling or smothering using water. The recommended extinguisher distance for this class of fire is approximately 23 meters. Class B and C fires are extinguished by inhibiting release of combustible vapors or interfering with the chemical reaction that release of OH radicals, for example by using carbon dioxide or dry powder like monoammonium phosphate. The appropriate distance of extinguisher for this class of fire is around 15 meters. Class D fires, extinguishing agent for Class D fire must not be conductive, for example carbon dioxide and dry powder. For this type of fire, the extinguisher is used at maximum comfortable distance and nearby to the fire sources. Class E fires, extinguishing agent for Class E fires must absorb heat and did not react with metals, for instance special dry powder or sand. The recommended extinguisher distance for Class E fires are about 23 meters from fire sources. Class F fires are extinguished using special liquid chemicals, and the extinguisher is used at nearby distance to the fire sources. Have you ever think about the action that you must take if you or someone near you catches on fire? Do you know that each year, more than 6,000 people are seriously burned when their clothes catch on fire in Malaysia? When a person's clothing catches on fire, action must be instinctive and immediate. There is no time to think. If you catch on fire, follow the principle of stop, drop, and roll. Stop where you are and do not run if your clothes catch on fire. Drop to the floor in prone position. Cover your face with your hands to protect it from the flames. Roll around the floor to smother the fire. Don't stop until the flames have been extinguished. If you are near someone whose clothing catches on fire, be sure to stop them from running and make them stop, drop, and roll. Smother the flames by grabbing a blanket or rug and wrap them in it. This action could save them from serious burns or death. Remember that the most important thing that you should never do when you or somebody around you catches on fire is run. In this last subtopic, we will discuss about the fire prevention measures. It is very important to know several requirements in order to prevent fire from occur. The first requirement that we need to pay attention is exit route. Exit route must be permanent, not be blocked or locked, well marked, open in direction of travel, and separated by fire-resistant materials. It is very important to ensure the opening into an exit door must be protected by an approved self-closing fire door that remains closed or automatically closed in an emergency. The second measure that is important in fire safety is proper storage of flammable chemicals or solvents. We should limit to store the quantities of flammable chemicals or solvent. Always use safety cans to store flammable substances. Store the flammable chemicals or solvents in proper and approved flammable storage cabinets in cool, well-ventilated area to avoid pressure build-up and vaporization. The cabinet must be clearly labeled with flammable, keep fire away. The doors on flammable cabinets must have a 3-point lock, which is top, side, and bottom. And the seal door must be raised at least 5 cm above the bottom of the cabinet. Next is ventilation. It is very important to always provide adequate ventilation to reduce the potential for ignition of flammable vapors. As a conclusion, you always need to remember to minimize size of fire by controlled storage of combustible and flammable materials, to reduce possibility of a fire by controlled ignition sources, to ensure fire protection equipment is operational, for example, fire extinguisher is not blocked, and lastly, to ensure exits are maintained and do not block the pathways and open the fire doors. I hope you have enjoyed this video and able to learn about the chemistry of fire. Till next time, thank you.